The winds howl across the Egyptian desert, carrying whispers of a time long forgotten. Endless dunes of golden sand stretch into the horizon, an ocean of dust shaped by the relentless forces of nature. Yet, within this vast and unforgiving expanse, something unnatural looms. An edifice so immense, so mathematically precise, that it defies the very laws of logic. The Great Pyramid of Giza. For millennia, it has stood as a silent sentinel, an enigma frozen in stone, bearing witness to the rise and fall of empires, defying the ravages of time, weathering both the elements and the shifting sands of history. The setting sun casts elongated shadows across its ancient facade, bathing the limestone blocks in hues of amber and crimson, as if the monument itself were absorbing the last embers of daylight. A lone traveler approaches, his footsteps the only audible defiance against the eerie hush of the desert. The air is thick with something intangible, an unspoken presence lingering between the past and the present. He reaches out, his fingertips brushing against the cool, time-worn stone, each block a relic from an epoch that predates recorded history. The craftsmanship is beyond comprehension, the weight of each block unfathomable. How was it placed? Who commanded such a feat? The traveler exhales, his voice barely a whisper against the breath of the wind. Who built you? The pyramid does not answer. It never has. It never will. There is only silence. A silence that speaks louder than words. A silence that has endured for thousands of years. Yet within that silence lies a question that refuses to fade, echoing across generations, challenging everything we think we know about our past. What do you think? Could leave a comment below with the number 7 if you believe the truth is hidden. And don't forget to subscribe, so much more to uncover. The official story is simple. Pharaoh Khufu, a ruler of Egypt's 4th dynasty, decreed the construction of the Great Pyramid around 2580 BCE. His people, tens of thousands of workers, carved, transported, and stacked 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks to build a tomb that would last for eternity. That is what history tells us. But something does not add up. If the Great Pyramid was truly built within 20 years, it would require workers to cut, move, and precisely position a massive stone block, some weighing up to 70 tons, every 2.5 minutes, every hour, every day, for 2 decades straight. And they supposedly accomplished this without steel tools, without wheels, without advanced engineering. Even today, with our towering cranes, laser-guided measuring systems, and computational precision, constructing such a monument with the same degree of accuracy would be a nearly impossible feat. And yet, thousands of years ago, in an age that predates even the written histories of most civilizations, the Great Pyramid was built, standing defiant against time itself. But this is where the mystery deepens. The Great Pyramid is not just an architectural marvel. It is an anomaly, an impossibility standing in the sands of Giza. Unlike other pyramids which have crumbled with age, its core remains largely intact. Its alignment with true north is nearly perfect, within a staggering 0.05 degrees, a precision that modern architects, despite GPS and advanced tools, still struggle to achieve. How did a Bronze Age civilization, using nothing more than chisels and wooden sledges, achieve something that would challenge even today's engineering minds? But that is just the beginning. The dimensions of the pyramid in code pi, the golden ratio, phi, and even the speed of light in meters per second, numbers that supposedly were not discovered until thousands of years later. How could an ancient civilization with no known advanced mathematics embed such knowledge into stone? The lone traveler closes his eyes. The desert wind whispers secrets long forgotten, stirring something deep within him. He imagines a time before history, a time when the gods themselves walked among men. He sees the silhouettes of towering beings descending from the sky, their presence reshaping the course of human civilization. He envisions the great architects of old, not simple laborers, but something else, something far more advanced. The Anunnaki. The very name lingers in his mind like a forbidden memory, stirring a question that has haunted historians, archaeologists, and seekers of truth for centuries. According to ancient Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki were celestial beings, divine architects who did it from the heavens, shaping human civilization, bestowing knowledge, and in some cases, ruling as gods. The Sumerians, among the oldest known civilizations, recorded tales of these beings with meticulous detail, describing how they imparted wisdom, technology, and the foundations of agriculture, astronomy, and engineering. Some texts even suggest that these gods were the true force behind the great monuments of antiquity. If so, is it possible that the Great Pyramid of Giza was not simply a tomb but a relic of something far greater? A structure built not by mere human hands, but under the guidance of those who came before us. The traveler steps back, gazing up at the towering monument before him. He cannot shake the feeling that this structure was never meant to be a tomb at all. There are no hieroglyphics adorning its walls, no grand depictions of Pharaoh Khufu celebrating his eternal reign, something that is almost unheard of for Egyptian rulers obsessed with immortalizing their legacy. Unlike the pyramids that followed, which were adorned with intricate carvings, the Great Pyramid is eerily silent, void of inscriptions, as if it was built for a purpose that had nothing to do with mortal kings. But if not a tomb, then what? The air grows still. A sense of unease washes over him, as if he stands on the edge of a revelation that mankind was never meant to uncover. Some researchers have proposed that the pyramid is more than just a tomb. It is a power plant of sorts, designed to generate and harness energy. Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest minds in electrical engineering, believed that the Earth itself carried vast reserves of untapped energy, and that certain geometric shapes could amplify and transmit this power. The Great Pyramid's internal structure, with its mysterious Queen's Chamber, King's Chamber, and subterranean passageways, eerily resembles the design of a resonance chamber, something built not to house the dead, but to channel energy. Furthermore, the materials used in its construction were carefully selected. Granite, which contains high levels of quartz, a known conductor of piezoelectric energy, suggesting that the pyramid was designed not for the afterlife, but for something far more profound. If true, then who built it, and for what purpose? The deeper one digs, the more the mystery unfolds. Some ancient texts speak of a great cataclysm, a time when the earth was reshaped by floods, fire, and destruction. The story of the Great Flood, found in the Bible, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and numerous mythologies worldwide, speaks of an event that wiped out civilizations, forcing survivors to rebuild from the ruins. But what if the Great Pyramid predates Egypt itself? What if it is a remnant of a lost civilization, one that possessed knowledge that has since been buried beneath the sands of time? Some believe that the pyramid could be a warning, a message encoded in stone, left behind by those who knew what was coming. The traveler runs his fingers along the worn edges of the limestone. He imagines the hands that placed these stones here. Were they the hands of laborers, or were they guided by something more? He recalls the legend of Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, who was said to have brought knowledge from the stars. Could Thoth be another version of Enki, the Anunnaki deity of wisdom and creation? The similarities between mythologies are too great to ignore. In the stories of the Sumerians, Egyptians, and even the Greeks, there are echoes of a time when knowledge was gifted from above, only to be later obscured, lost, or deliberately hidden. A sudden gust of wind sweeps across the desert, lifting a veil of sand into the air. The traveler watches as the grains dance in the dying light, fleeting and ephemeral, much like the stories of old. History, he realizes, is not always what we are told. Sometimes it is rewritten. Sometimes the truth is buried, not only beneath the earth but beneath layers of deception. He looks once more at the Great Pyramid, standing motionless against the twilight sky, a monument to the past, or perhaps a key to something greater. He turns to leave, but a thought lingers in his mind. If the Great Pyramid was built with knowledge beyond its time, if it was designed with mathematical precision that modern architects still struggle to comprehend, then what else remains undiscovered? What other truths lie hidden, waiting for those willing to ask the forbidden questions? The wind carries his thoughts away, blending them into the eternal silence of the desert. The pyramid does not answer. It never has. It never will. But for those who dare to seek, the truth is always there, waiting, just beyond the edge of the known world. Far to the east, in the land of Sumer, the oldest recorded civilization, ancient texts speak of a race of divine beings, the Anunnaki. Powerful, wise, and descending from the heavens, they were more than mere gods. They were architects of civilization. bearers of knowledge, shapers of empires, and according to some accounts, the very creators of humanity itself. Their presence is etched into Sumerian clay tablets, their names whispered in the oldest stories of mankind. And yet, in another land, across the shifting sands of time, another figure emerges from the depths of history, a god of wisdom, a master of writing, of knowledge, and of creation. His name? Thoth. The Egyptian deity of learning, the scribe of the gods, the one who recorded the passage of time and held the secrets of the cosmos. Could it be that Thoth and Enki, one of the most revered Anunnaki, are one and the same? The notion is not without merit. Across the ancient world, civilizations that should have been isolated from one another inexplicably shared strikingly similar myths, symbols, and structures. Egypt, Sumer, Mesoamerica, each gave rise to towering pyramids and immense temples, all aligned with celestial bodies, all constructed using sacred geometry that modern science is only beginning to understand. These civilizations did not develop slowly, as one might expect from primitive societies. Instead, they seemed to appear suddenly, fully formed, possessing advanced knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, and architecture. The question that lingers is, how? The traveler gazes up at the peak of the Great Pyramid, its apex lost against the backdrop of the evening sky. If this was merely a tomb, then why does it hold no sarcophagus, no inscriptions, no traditional funerary elements? Why is it aligned with Orion's belt, a celestial formation revered not only by the Egyptians, but by the Sumerians and even the builders of the pyramids in Central and South America? The coincidences stretch far beyond probability. The air is thick with something unspoken, something lost in the shifting sands of time. Could these pyramids be remnants of an ancient knowledge, a technology now forgotten? Many have speculated that the pyramids were not tombs at all, but something far more profound, perhaps beacons, energy generators, or even gateways connecting this world to another. The idea is not without foundation. The internal structure of the Great Pyramid, with its hidden chambers, narrow shafts that align with specific stars, and an underground chamber unlike any traditional burial tomb, suggests something more, something designed with purpose beyond mere mortal legacy. The very materials of the structure reinforce this mystery. Granite, which contains high concentrations of quartz, has the ability to conduct piezoelectric energy, the same principle used in modern technology to generate and transmit power. Could it be that the Great Pyramid was, in some way, harnessing or amplifying the Earth's natural energies? The Sumerians spoke of the Anunnaki as bringers of civilization, as celestial beings who gifted mankind with knowledge, but what if their influence extended beyond Mesopotamia? What if the gods of Sumer and the gods of Egypt were one and the same? If Enki, the wise and rebellious Anunnaki who sought to elevate humanity, was also Thoth, the keeper of sacred knowledge, then what does that mean for history as we know it? The parallels are undeniable. Both were teachers, both were associated with water and life, both were depicted as protectors of wisdom, both left behind enigmatic structures that defy explanation. And then there is the question of genetic intervention. Ancient Sumerian tablets suggest that the Anunnaki did more than simply guide humanity. They created humanity through a process that eerily resembles modern genetic engineering. The texts describe an era when the gods mixed their essence with that of early humans, giving rise to a hybrid species, one that was intelligent, capable of labor, and above all, obedient. But could the Anunnaki's experimentation have continued beyond Mesopotamia? Did they also play a role in the rise of Egyptian civilization? The traveler feels the weight of these questions pressing against him. He glances at the vast desert around him, imagining a time when the sands were fertile plains, when the Nile carried more than just water, it carried the knowledge of the gods. If Enki, Thoth, was indeed a benefactor of humanity, did his teachings include the secrets of engineering, astronomy, and energy? Did the knowledge of the Anunnaki guide the construction of the pyramids? And if so, what happened to that knowledge? The legend of Thoth tells of a great book, the Book of Thoth, containing the secrets of the universe, the power to control the heavens, the ability to decipher the language of the stars. It was said that whoever read from it would gain dominion over the earth and the cosmos. But the book was hidden, buried, or perhaps destroyed, much like the true history of the pyramid builders. Could it be that the wisdom of Thoth, of Enki, was deliberately erased? If the pyramids were not mere tombs, but instruments of power, then perhaps that power was meant to be concealed, protected from those who would misuse it. The traveler's breath catches as another thought creeps into his mind. What if the pyramids are not only relics of a forgotten past, but warnings? Messages left behind, encoded in stone, designed to outlast even the fall of civilizations. What if their true purpose has yet to be unlocked? Some researchers believe that the pyramids were meant to awaken at a specific time, triggered by celestial alignments or energetic shifts within the Earth itself. If that were true, then what are we on the verge of discovering? The night deepens, and the stars emerge, illuminating the ancient structure before him. He watches as Orion rises in the sky, perfectly aligned with the Great Pyramid's three main structures, just as it has been for thousands of years. The ancients did not build by accident. Their temples, their pyramids, their sacred sites, they were all constructed with precision, with purpose. But what was that purpose? A distant sound echoes through the desert, a whisper carried by the wind. The traveler closes his eyes, listening. For a moment, he almost believes he can hear it. The faint echoes of a civilization long past, voices speaking in tongues unknown, sharing secrets that were never meant to be forgotten. The Great Pyramid does not speak. It has stood in silence for millennia. But the truth is there, hidden in its stones, waiting for those who dare to listen. And so, the traveler does what so many before him have done. He stares at the monolithic structure, the legacy of gods and men, and asks the question that lingers in the heart of every seeker. What are you? Inside the Great Pyramid, the air is thick with an almost palpable weight, as if the very stones themselves are whispering secrets long forgotten. The walls, ancient and unmoving, resonate with a silence that feels unnatural, an absence of sound so profound it is almost deafening. The king's chamber is empty. No inscriptions, no hieroglyphs, no offerings to the gods, just massive blocks of granite, some weighing up to 80 tons, meticulously placed with an eerie precision. But why? Why would the architects of such a grand monument leave it devoid of the sacred carvings that adorn almost every other Egyptian tomb? The emptiness is unsettling, as though the true purpose of this chamber was never meant for the dead, but for something else entirely. The traveler runs his fingers over the cold, polished surface of the granite. He knows that granite contains quartz, a mineral that, when subjected to pressure or vibration, generates an electrical charge. It is the same principle used in modern technology, from quartz watches to radio transmitters. The realization sends a chill through him. Was this chamber designed to amplify energy, rather than to house a king? The deeper he delves, the more the pieces begin to fit together. The internal structure of the Great Pyramid is unlike any other tomb in Egypt. The passageways, the chambers, the strange shafts that align with specific celestial bodies, all seem to suggest something far more sophisticated than a mere burial site. Some researchers have proposed that the layout of these chambers resembles a resonance system, a structure designed not to house the dead, but to channel and harness energy. Could it be that the Great Pyramid was not a tomb at all, but an ancient power plant, a machine built to extract energy from the earth itself? The traveler takes a slow breath, steadying his thoughts. Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest minds in history, once theorized that the Earth is a natural conductor of limitless energy, and that certain structures built at precise locations could tap into this electromagnetic field. If Tesla was right, then the Great Pyramid may not have been built randomly. It may have been strategically placed at one of the strongest energy nodes on Earth. The exact location of the Great Pyramid is no coincidence. It sits at the intersection of powerful telluric energy lines, at a point where the planet's electromagnetic field is at its strongest. The mathematical alignment of the pyramid with the Earth itself is staggering. Its longitude and latitude coordinates match the speed of light in meters per second. Its proportions encode the dimensions of the Earth and the Moon. It is positioned precisely along the prime meridian of ancient times, aligned with sacred sites across the globe, from Stonehenge to Machu Picchu to the temples of Angkor Wat. Could it be that the builders of the Great Pyramid understood something that modern science is only beginning to rediscover? A new thought takes root in his mind, a a radical yet inescapable possibility. If the Great Pyramid was built to harness energy, then what was its purpose? Was it meant to transmit power wirelessly, much like Tesla's unfinished Wardenclyffe Tower? Some researchers have suggested that the shafts within the pyramid were not ventilation ducts, as mainstream Egyptology claims, but waveguides designed to focus and direct energy. The traveler envisions the ancient world, an age before recorded history, when the pyramid may have once hummed with energy, its structure resonating with the natural frequencies of the earth, transmitting power across vast distances. Could this be why the pyramid was built with non-conductive limestone on the outside and conductive granite within? The same principle is used in modern electrical engineering to create capacitors, devices that store and release energy. If the pyramid was indeed a massive energy capacitor, then what was it powering? The lack of soot or burn marks inside the pyramid suggests that the ancient Egyptians did not use torches for light. Some theorists believe that the pyramid may have once powered a form of wireless energy, similar to the Baghdad battery, which hints at an understanding of electricity in the ancient world. The traveler exhales, his mind racing. If this knowledge existed in the past, what happened to it? Was it simply lost to time, or was it deliberately erased? The very idea sends a shiver through him. What if those who came after the original builders sought to bury the truth to ensure that such power remained hidden? Many of the world's greatest ancient structures share a common fate. Their purpose has been obscured, rewritten, or dismissed as mere superstition. The Library of Alexandria, which housed texts from across the ancient world, was burned to the ground. The temples of ancient civilizations, which may have once contained knowledge of energy and cosmic laws, were repurposed, looted, or abandoned. If the Great Pyramid was truly part of a global energy grid, then what does that mean for our understanding of history? Could it be that ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we have been led to believe? The traveler thinks of the similarities between pyramids across the world, not just in Egypt, but in Mesoamerica, China, Indonesia, and even underwater off the coast of Japan. All these structures share an obsession with celestial alignments, with sacred geometry, with harnessing the natural forces of the earth. Could this be a remnant of a lost technology, a forgotten science that once allowed entire civilizations to thrive on free energy? He gazes once more at the towering monolith before him, the last of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, still standing after thousands of years. The desert winds whisper around him, as if carrying echoes of an era when the pyramid was more than just a stone relic, when it pulsed with energy, illuminating the night with a glow no longer remembered. Perhaps, buried within its very foundation, lies the key to unlocking a technology far beyond our comprehension. He cannot shake the feeling that the pyramid is waiting, that its secrets have not yet been fully revealed. The ancients did not build randomly. Everything had a purpose. If the Great Pyramid was truly an energy source, then what else might we have misunderstood? What other wonders lie hidden, waiting for those who dare to seek them? The thought lingers in his mind like an unfinished equation, a riddle left unsolved. He takes a final look at the towering structure silhouetted against the darkening sky. The Great Pyramid does not answer. In 2017, advanced scanning technology revealed a hidden void within the Great Pyramid of Giza, a chamber so vast it could accommodate an entire airplane. Yet, no one knows its purpose. No one dares to say what it was built for, or why it has remained concealed for thousands of years. The Egyptian authorities, bound by the traditional narrative, refuse to investigate further, dismissing it as an anomaly, an architectural mistake, despite the fact that mistakes do not exist in a structure built with near-perfect precision. But what if this chamber is not a mere accident? What if it holds something that could shatter everything we think we know about history? What if, buried within that void, lies evidence of a technology so advanced, so utterly alien to our understanding of the ancient world, that acknowledging it would rewrite the very foundations of human civilization? The traveler stands still, staring up at the monolithic presence before him, now cast in the eerie glow of the moonlight. He can almost feel the weight of the unseen chamber, the void pressing against the inside of the pyramid like a hidden heartbeat, pulsing with a secret the world is not ready to face. What was placed there? A tomb? A relic? Or something far more enigmatic? A machine, an artifact left behind by those who built this structure, something that still waits to be discovered? The implications are overwhelming. If the chamber was deliberately sealed away, it was done for a reason. If it contained something unknown, then perhaps that knowledge was never meant to fall into human hands. Or perhaps it was hidden to be rediscovered when the time was right. The Great Pyramid has never been just a tomb, it has always been more. Unlike the later pyramids, it contains no mummies, no funerary carvings, no traces of a burial chamber in the conventional sense. It was designed with purpose, its builders ensuring that it would endure for millennia, guarding its secrets. And now, as technology advances, the pyramid is finally beginning to reveal its mysteries. Yet, instead of investigating, those in power turn away. Why? What is being hidden? The traveler imagines the possibilities. An ancient generator, a lost cache of knowledge inscribed on tablets unknown to history, or perhaps the final remnants of a civilization wiped from time, a race that possessed capabilities beyond our comprehension. A cold wind stirs the sands at his feet. The pyramids were never built at random. They align with Orion's belt, mirroring the heavens above with an accuracy that defies explanation. They encode pi, the golden ratio, and the dimensions of the Earth itself. And now, hidden within one of the most mathematically precise structures ever built, there is a void, an empty space deliberately left behind. Was it meant to house something, or was it meant to hide something? If the pyramid was indeed a machine, a power plant, or a device that once harnessed the energy of the Earth, then perhaps this chamber was its control center, its core, its engine. But if so, who built it, and why was it shut down? The traveler steps back, exhaling as he tries to process the enormity of what he has just learned. The world's greatest mysteries do not lie in the stars or in the distant reaches of the galaxy. They lie here, buried beneath our feet, hidden in plain sight, disguised as ruins, dismissed as myth. Perhaps the real question is not who built the Great Pyramid, but what were they trying to tell us? Was it a message left for future generations, encoded in stone, waiting for the day when humanity would finally be able to understand it? Or was it a warning, one that we have long since forgotten? The Great Pyramid does not answer. It stands as it always has, a silent guardian of an untold past, its mysteries intact, its secrets kept. But the traveler knows this much. History, as we have been taught, is incomplete. And somewhere within that hidden chamber, behind those sealed walls, lies a truth that could change everything. The desert wind rises once more, whispering a story lost to time, a truth buried beneath the sands, waiting patiently for those who dare to seek it. The Great Pyramid is not just stone and mortar. It is a message, a monument not to the past, but to something far greater. A legacy left behind by those who came before, those whose existence has been obscured, rewritten, or deliberately erased. It is a cipher, an artifact that refuses to be ignored, a puzzle whose pieces no longer fit within the accepted narrative. Was this truly the work of the pharaohs, mortal kings who lived a mere blink of an eye in the vast stretch of time? Or was it the final testament of the Anunnaki, the celestial architects of ancient myth, leaving behind a beacon of knowledge, encoded in stone, waiting for the day when humanity would be ready to understand? The air grows heavy with the weight of a forgotten truth. History, as we know it, may not be history at all. The traveler stands before the towering structure, his thoughts racing. If the past has been rewritten, then what else has been hidden? What else has been lost, buried beneath layers of deception, erased from the records of civilization? The pyramid does not answer, but its silence speaks volumes. It has endured wars, invasions, and the erosion of time itself, yet it stands, unchanged, unmoved, unbroken. Perhaps that is the message. Not a relic of a bygone era, but a challenge, a mystery meant to be unraveled by those willing to question everything. The winds shift, carrying the whispers of the past into the darkness. And for a brief moment, the traveler wonders, have we been looking in the wrong place all along?